Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, and we're going to be talking about a few red flags when quoting jobs. And honestly, I'm telling you about these, but I even fell for them as recently as January this year. Literally the start of this month, me and Big Al went and did a hedge job. It's one of them, right? So we went to quote it, and I was walking around with a customer and they were saying to me, you know, this is what we want doing. We want these hedges done. We want these ones over here reduced. We want loads of cutting back here. We want some strewing around the pond. You know, they had beds and borders they wanted sort of ripping out and replanting. And, you know, there was an abundance of work there. And we're walking around and he says to me, Pete, we've seen your YouTube channel. We like what you do. We like your kind of whole marketing thing. Would you be interested in giving us a price for doing some of these jobs? And I said, yeah, cool, not a problem. So I said, the way I work is I offer a set price for hedge work and lawns and stuff like that. And if I'm doing beds, borders and weeding, I tend to charge hourly for that just because I don't know how long those jobs are going to take. They can vary and fluctuate. So for me, they have to be hourly. Whereas the mowing, the hedges, the patio cleaning, that sort of thing, I know I can do a set price and I'm pretty safe. You know, I've been doing it long enough now that I've got a rough idea of how long things are going to take. Anyway, I'm walking around with this customer and he says to me, you know, how much do you charge? So I gave him a price for the initial hedge job that me and Big Al did. And he was happy with it, but he did question the price. And at that point when he said to me, you know, he said, what do you charge? What do you charge for doing like this sort of job? And I said, that is going to be about, if I'm being honest, 400 quid. And he says, that's a little bit steep for sort of hedge cutting. He said, is there any negotiation on that price? Are you willing to come down a bit? Because obviously we've got budgets to stick to. And you sort of think to yourself, when a customer says that, I mean, the first thing I do is I think, well, you've got all this land, you've got a big property, all of this stuff needs maintaining, and all of this stuff to maintain and keep looking good at all time is going to take time. You know, it's not like it's a 5-minute job. This would have been a full day every week, probably for a whole year, to get the garden to a good standard. So anyway, I gave him the price and he said, oh, it's a little bit steep, will you come down a bit? And of course, it's the start of January and I was like, I'm a bit quieter than normal this year. I could do with the extra work. I said, look, I knocked my price down a little bit for that hedge work with Big Al. And he said, oh, thank you so much. You know, we're good people, we're good payers, we won't let you down, you know, and because you've done this for us, we'll recommend you to other people, and we'll give you, you know, the whole carrot on the stick thing where somebody says, if you do a good job for me, I promise you more work. I promise I'll put you in touch with someone else. I promise this and I promise that, and I promise I'll pay on time. All of these little red flags, all of these things that, you know, when I'm on it, I would never have even considered taking it on. But because it was that time of the year, just after Christmas, going into January, work's a bit slow, and I'm thinking, well, I could do with the extra tax money, really. I stupidly took it on. I knocked my price down a little bit. First big no-no, first mistake on my part. Hold my hands up. I shouldn't have done it. I should have stuck to my guns. I know my worth. And I fell for it. I fell for the whole, I promise there'll be more work every week. I promise this, and I promise I'll recommend you, and I promise I'll pay straight away. So anyway, I was like, okay, cool, look, let's just shake hands on it. I'll come and do the job of Big Al. You know, so we did it. And the guy said to me, when we were finished, he shook our hands, shook Al's hand. He said, look, I'm really happy with what you've done. He said, I'd love you to come back. As soon as you get home, ping me your bank details. I'll pay you straight away, and then I'll let you know, you know, what works with us. Because he said, obviously, I would like you on a set day, and I want you on a set day that works with us as well. And I said, that's absolutely fine. You know, I can sort of accommodate you in my diary sort of thing. Anyway, done the work, went home, texted my bank details, and literally, he'd already gone back on what he said. He hadn't paid me straight away. He paid me like 2 days later, and I had to text and WhatsApp. The first message was like, yeah, thanks for today. Here's my bank details. Bing, thank you. But no, like 3 days later, I still hadn't had the money, and I had to send him another message. And at this point, I was like, I'm so annoyed with myself because I've taken this job on based off what he said to me, what he promised me, and I knew it was all kind of like, you know, because I'd heard it all before, but I still fell for it, just because it's the time of the year where work's slow, the weather's rubbish like it is today. I mean, have a look at this voiceover now. I'll keep chatting away, but have a look at this rain, mate. It is absolutely horrendous. Hailstones, thunder and lightning. It was just rubbish. And, you know, this is what we're contending with in January. There's not much work about. Then you get people giving you fake promises and then letting you down. And that's really disappointing, especially when you've turned up early, you've worked really hard. We actually stayed half an hour longer than we should have done. So once that job was completed, we stayed on for an extra half an hour and just did some initial cleaning around the area we were working. For example, there were some little leaves left on the lawn. Big Al said to me, it would look really nice if we, you know, got those tidy, clean them up, make a good first impression, you know. So we've done all that. We went the extra mile for this customer. He didn't pay on time. He let us down. And then when I went to rebook him in, after all of that, he turned around and said, we've decided we're not going to continue with the garden. And I just felt so bad that I had fallen for it. I'm on here every couple of months giving people advice about, you know your worth, and, you know, and there was me. I absolutely fell for it, you know, hook, line and sinker and all that, or whatever it's called. But you know what I mean? I fell for it, and it's just so frustrating. It kind of backs on from what Nathan was saying yesterday. Lewis Garden Services, put a link in the description for his channel. Go and subscribe to him if you're not already. I'm sure you are, but if you're not, please go and subscribe to him, because Nathan's a great guy. But anyway, yeah, he said it yesterday brilliantly. You know your worth, guys. And I watched his video and I thought, you know what? I'm going to talk about what happened to me, because I wasn't going to talk about this. But then my missus said to me, no, you should talk about it, because, you know, start of January, you were really upset about that because you worked really hard, and, you know, you've held on to that for a couple of weeks, and it might do you good to get it off your chest. So here I am getting it off my chest. I was really frustrated. And do you know what upsets me the most though? It's knowing that other gardeners are going to go in there now, and I've worked out what they're going to do. Other gardeners are going to go in there. They're going to give a price. They're going to get knocked down. They're going to do the work. And it's going to continue happening, and people are going to get messed around, and it's not fair, man. We're trying to run legitimate businesses, and we've got people mucking us around over a couple of quid as well. So I'm going to reiterate what Nathan said yesterday. Know your worth. Go in to quote a job. If you've got a price in your mind, stick to it. Don't do what I did. Don't fall for the whole, I promise you more work. I promise I'll pay quickly. I promise you this. I promise you that. It won't happen. It doesn't happen. People will always pay you late, because, you know, you're bottom of as a gardener, you are bottom of their priority list. You're not priority, mate. And I've had to come to accept that. I've been messed around enough times over the last year, and I now find myself in a position where, for the first time in 7 years, and I don't mind admitting this, I'm actually advertising for work again. I've got a few gaps going into the spring, which I've never had. So I don't know whether that's a combination of the economy, people watching the pennies, I don't know. But, you know, difficult times. I've got work about 3.5 days a week at the minute, which I'm grateful for. It's better for nothing. I do get that. I haven't had to go and get a driving job. I haven't had to go and get a job doing something else. I've stuck to the guns. No, I went self-employed for a reason. This is my business. I like the freedom, the flexibility, taking days off, holidays, all that stuff when I want, and I wouldn't change this for the world. You have to take the rough with the smooth when you run a garden maintenance business. It's just, this is a bit of a difficult time of year. We get through it. We got the tax money. All of that is fine. So I'm not majorly stressed. The biggest stress for me is just the crap weather and not being as busy as I really want to be. But I know it will happen. Come spring, everyone will want to get in their gardens, and all of a sudden you'll be inundated with work and you'll be like, I can't keep up. You know how it is. Thanks for listening to my little waffle. It's just more of a red flag video today. I just don't want people to get caught out. I don't want people to get burnt. And please, please, please don't fall for fake promises, because they will promise you everything to get you on board for as cheap as possible. They will use you. You'll do a good service, and then they'll bin you off just like that. And it's cruel, man. We're trying to run good, proper, legitimate businesses, and I want you all to succeed. So anyway, I'm wrapping up my little chat here. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all the new subscribers. It's really good to have you here. Hopefully this helps. You know, it's just a kind of, as I say, raise awareness, but know your worth. Look after yourself. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.